You're listening to How to 20-something, the only podcast that helps both men and women navigate their 20s and learn how to adult across all aspects of their lives. We're going to be focusing on career, relationships, finances, fitness, nutrition, and all of the common challenges and obstacles a typical 20-something will face in this post-college life and what to do about it. I'm your host, Jess Diamond, and I am the CEO and founder of Jess Diamond Coaching, where I help young professionals get their shit together, gain their confidence, and own their life. No one prepares you for this adulting world, so allow me to help you feel like you are no longer a chicken running around with its head cut off, and that you actually know what the hell is going on and what your next step to take is. Welcome to How to 20-something. Welcome back to How to 20-something, with today being a slightly controversial topic in mainstream media and has been for quite some time, and that is body positivity. I want to preface this episode with letting you know that I want you to love the skin that you're in, I want you to take good care of yourself, and I want you to be confident in all aspects of who you are, both internally and externally. I just want to bring to light the extremes that exist within our society so you can keep an eye out for it when you see your favorite social media influencer flaunting their body. Whether that body is your dream body or you're seeing someone trying to normalize bigger bodies, which again, all bodies are beautiful, but we're here to talk about the truth and really the debate as to whether or not body positivity has gone too far and where you can draw the line of delusion to empowerment. And if you are someone who is listening who struggles between wanting a better body and loving the one you have right now, then I want to remind you that your self-confidence around your body and health is one of the many things I help my clients with when I take them through my Own Your Life system. So if you're curious about what working with a coach, who is me, is like, and the transformative experience I take you through, then I invite you to hop on a Road to Success call with me, and that's where we can talk about what's going on in your life, what you would rather be experiencing, if I'm the coach who can help you, and I'll even give you a few actions that you can take right now to improve your life or situation. That link is always going to be in the show notes, so please check it out and connect with me. But if you're someone who is in their 20s, who is experiencing some not so pleasant physique changes as a result of being chair-bound with a 9-to-5 and needs help developing better habits, direction as to what they need to be eating for their body, and how to develop a better relationship to their journey and balance in their life, then stop hesitating and jump on this free call with me. Now, back to the topic of body positivity. I first want to highlight that we're never going to have our high school body again. So stop reflecting on how you looked 10 years ago or what you weighed and start developing a better relationship with how you look and care for yourself right now. As a female in particular, our bodies are constantly going through changes, and I want you to think of these changes in increments where it'll be a gradual change, like 1 pound here or 1 pimple there, or needing some new clothes with a changing season. And then after 5 years, you look at yourself and think, oh my God, what happened? Meaning these changes might not happen overnight. They probably will not be happening overnight, but rather over time. And some of them are necessary when it comes to your fertility window, like wider hips and holding on to more fat as your body prepares for bearing a child, whether you want one or not. And while a lot of these changes are inevitable, meaning you can't avoid them, there are things you can do to mitigate the aging process, and that process is the equivalent to how you should be approaching your own body positivity or the way you see and relate to yourself. I know it's hard to see pictures of yourself from a few years ago and think, wow, I hated the way I looked in that moment, and now I would give anything to look like that again. Trust me, as I was tiny for all of high school, as in wearing kids' clothes until I was about 16, and then I was a 000, which yes, that size exists. I was late to go through puberty, so I was small for much longer than all of my peers and was still going through puberty when I started college. So on top of alcohol and bad habits in general, my body was also shifting into being a woman with the wider hips and bigger boobs and carrying more fat on me, which messes with your head. Although, now I can confidently say that I have a much better and healthier relationship with myself, with movement and food, but it did take a while to get here. And even then, I still have those days where I'm like, ugh, I don't like the way I look. And the body positivity movement doesn't like you to have those moments. But I'm here to tell you it's normal and it's going to happen, which I'll get into in a moment. I mean, even today, the day I'm sitting down to record this episode, I was in the middle of doing a chest and tries workout, and towards the end of the workout, I started to get really, really bad body image thoughts in my head, and I put on my shirt and I left because I was like, I can't be here right now while I'm having these thoughts and while I'm in the middle of working out. It was at the end, which does help, but I needed to get out of there, and I knew that for myself, and I knew it'd be healthier for me to leave than to get in those last 2 sets that I needed to, that I had written for myself. But body positivity, in theory, is advocating for accepting all body types, regardless of age, size, shape, or ability. The way the media twists and turns it is body acceptance, where your body is your body and you're supposed to love all the changes that happen. It's normalizing shitty habits that have compounded over time instead of taking ownership of the way you've been showing up and then doing something about it if you don't like what you're seeing. Not in a bad body image day, but over time. If you are consistently thinking, I don't like the way I look or feel, I need to change something. What body positivity really is knowing that you are fully taking care of yourself and your health. You're eating healthy with 85% whole foods. You're cooking most meals at home, working out, not excessively. You're getting good sleep. You're drinking water. You're getting sunlight and maintaining positive relationships in your life. It's everything I talk about in the Creating Your Healthy Foundation episode from a little while ago. Basically, body positivity is having a healthy balance in all aspects of your life and actively and consistently taking care of yourself. So it's knowing you are doing everything within your power to be your healthiest self, while also knowing your body will only go so far. Your power is part of what I help you with. It's the control stop in my Own Your Life system. So stop 1, I don't think I've ever mentioned this. Stop 1 is create your vision or your goals. Stop 2, develop consistency in your habits, your priorities, your routine. Stop 3 is connect with yourself and with those who influence you the most or who you want influencing you the most. Stop 4 is control. It's looking at where you hold the power in your life, which is in your actions and reactions. And stop 5 is having full confidence in yourself, in who you are, how you're showing up, the boundaries you're setting, and the decisions you're making on a regular basis. That's my system. It's how I help my clients achieve their goals within the context of their own lives. But back on topic, having that power is doing everything for yourself, but also being realistic in your genetics, in your past experiences, in your stress levels, and all the nitty-gritty things that add up to form the beautiful body you see today. Body positivity doesn't mean you're never going to have a bad body image day or that you're not allowed to dislike some part of you, because that's unrealistic. I tell people all the time, I have no idea what I look like, and I'm being dead serious when I make that statement. I tell them that if there were no such thing as mirrors or reflections or pictures and videos or clothes that weren't stretchy, I would think I looked phenomenal, and it's because I feel phenomenal. But there are these things, and they all give you a different message and feedback, and it messes with your head as to what you actually look like at all times. I could take one picture and think I look so amazing, and then we change lighting or camera angles, and I'm like, dear God, do I really look like that? And the answer is no, not really, at least not entirely. And as a muscular female, it is so confusing when I have pants that don't fit me anymore. But what really happened is I grew my quads and glutes and didn't get fat, but there is more of me that exists now in the form of muscle. Full disclosure, I recently had an in-body scan done, which part of that scan tells you your body fat, and I was exactly where I thought I was going to be, which is good. What I did, though, was ask a few people what they thought mine was before I told them, and pretty much every female I asked who is not well-versed in the body fat percentage world guessed that I was around 10%. I'm 25% body fat, which is healthy for a female in her reproductive years. but it tells me how skewed everyone's perception is on themselves and on what their goals are, as well as what they believe to be true when comparing themselves to another woman. Because as a female, you should absolutely never, ever, ever be striving to be 10% body fat unless you are about to step on a stage for a competition. Honestly, you shouldn't strive to be below 17 or 18%, as that's when you risk some serious hormonal imbalances and nutrient deficiencies, and you lose your period, and you lose your hair, and your skin is awful, and just a lot of things go wrong. But 18 to 26 or even 27 is considered optimal health. And you really just don't want to be above 30%, as that's when you start to develop other health concerns like PCOS or diabetes. But that also doesn't mean that you need to restrict yourself of certain foods or go on some drastic diet to get your body fat percentage down. It really means if you are listening and you are above 30% body fat, then you need to look at your habits and start taking better care of yourself so your body can return to its optimal level of health. And it's knowing that even then, you might be genetically predisposed to holding on to more body fat than others, because that's being body positive. And it's also knowing that this is a journey filled with ups and downs and good days and bad days. My bad body image days come and go. And I know that when I used to have a bad day, I would deprive myself of some type of food or work out a little extra or say I'm going on a new diet and cutting out some food group for the week until my brain leveled out and I went right back to my normal habits. Now, when I have bad body image days, I remind myself that I am taking care of myself. I am eating well, I'm exercising regularly and not overdoing it as best as I can, and my body is doing everything that I ask of it. Because at the end of the day, our bodies are really just our transportation system and task device to get us from point A to point B or to get something done. We are so much more than what we look like on the outside. And it can be hard with pretty privilege, where if you're skinny and pretty, you're going to be treated better. People are going to be more attracted to you, and life in general comes easier to you with opportunities. Or with people you see on social media who are famous solely because they're pretty and have a great body. Or if you were the skinny kid growing up like I was. Or if you have same-sex siblings and you're looking at your sibling like, we have all the same genes. Why do I look like this and you look like that? Because when you are larger or curvier or hold on to more fat naturally, people are going to automatically assume that you don't take care of yourself and that you're lazy and unhealthy. That's not body positivity. Humans are judgmental creatures and will immediately compare themselves to you to make themselves feel better while simultaneously creating a story about you. I was talking with one of the trainers at my gym not too long ago, and he coaches the group fitness classes where I do one-on-one training. But he was saying that there are some large women in his class who are beasts, who eat healthy and work out regularly, yet no matter what they do, they will not be as small as some of the other females in that class, which is so frustrating. But they are on the side of body positivity that is empowering, and they know that as long as they are showing up and trying their best and enjoying their life, then they are healthy, and their body is their body. So while yes, originally the body positivity movement was created to set realistic standards of beauty that society previously deemed unattractive, and it is an incredible concept that some women have approached beautifully. It's a form of self-care and self-acceptance and a stand against unattainable standards of beauty created by the fashion and cosmetic industry primarily, and at first was successful in doing so, and then it became extreme. I think we can all remember aspiring to look like a Victoria's Secret angel, even when that body type represents less than 1% of the actual population shopping at Victoria's Secret, and then come to find out that Victoria's Secret is run by a man living in Ohio, but that didn't help a young girl's mind into thinking that this is the standard of beauty, and if you don't end up looking like these women, then you are ugly. You are undesirable. And I want to get one thing straight. I am all for body positivity and this movement, just not when it is poorly promoted. For example, there is one influencer in particular that would get me raging mad when I would come across her videos on TikTok. Her name is Remy. You might know her, and not personally. You might know her personally. I don't know. But she's the queen of body positivity and normalizing curvier ladies, which is great. And it was at first when she was so confident in her body and would do these try-on hauls, and they were hilarious and they were realistic. And at that time, I genuinely liked her and what she represented. Then she kept getting bigger and bigger, both in her body and in her following. She was drinking, she was eating out all the time, and her skin looked god-awful. Her mental health spiraled out of control, and as someone in the health and wellness space, I could see that she was starting to promote the toxic and delusional side of the body positivity movement. It's as though she felt pressure to maintain this image, even though she wasn't actually taking care of herself. And she has talked about her disordered eating with binging and restricting and mental health. So I know it's not all black and white, and there is more to her than what she shares on social media. So this is what we're going with, because this is what her impressionable followers are seeing as well. It wasn't until recently, I think. I mean, I don't follow her, but she comes across my feed every now and then, and I'll dive into her recent posts. So yes, I'll admit, maybe I'm judging a book by its cover, but this is an example that I know rings true for a lot of females going through a similar unhealthy experience and are being told to love their bodies regardless. But anyways, recently she went on a brand trip and couldn't keep up with the other girls because she was too overweight and unhealthy, and that gave her a little wake-up call to start changing her act. And then she started posting about her new journey towards health, which is great that she's turning things around, but she is the prime example of taking a good thing too far. And this is what I want to help you recognize for your own self so you don't get caught up in the delusional side. There are a lot of positives around this movement, and I will say it has been successful in promoting this level of awareness that different bodies exist, and no two people are going to look the same, and life isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Cough, cough. This is why you should work with a coach, because we are trained to fit a healthy lifestyle to your individual needs and take individual variants into account. But that note aside, let's fully dive into the pros and cons, and that way you can see both sides of things and be able to draw the line for yourself. I'll start with the pros, and that is the body positivity movement encourages people to have a better body image, which results in better mental health and better habits that don't result in restricting and binging. It celebrates the uniqueness of every individual. When I was coaching F45 a few weeks ago, I literally made a mental note of all the different bodies I saw before me, and it's beautiful when you think about it. It's like art, how we're all different, but we all come together for this 45-minute workout and coexist in harmony with no shame, no judgment, just showing up to be healthy. And it was a wonderful mental note, if I do say so myself. Body positivity is successful in raising awareness around how harmful and toxic the diet industry is, and body shaming and unrealistic standards to try to achieve them when it comes to the way you look. And I love that about this movement. And most importantly, it has built this community of people, primarily women, who feel represented and accepted instead of marginalized and excluded. If you're on TikTok or something of the like and you come across a female in a bikini, you will most likely see comments saying something along the lines of, "I feel represented," or "Yes, girl, go off." And it's usually on a video of a typically curvier woman who is enjoying herself and living her life. And my sister made a good point when I was talking to her about creating this episode, and that is people pick up on your energy more than they do your actual looks. So if you fully accept your body and have cultivated this wonderful and healthy relationship with yourself and you're living your life to its fullest, people are going to be drawn to your confidence and self-assurance. But those are the pros. The cons behind this movement is why I felt called to make this episode, and I've pretty much already covered most of them, but to run it down, it is overlooking health concerns because of its over-acceptance of body image. So it ignores the importance of health and well-being. It is so focused on love the way you look that it doesn't consider the habits that are going on in your regular life. Meaning, if you're tired all the time, constantly uncomfortable in your clothes because they don't fit anymore, eating out regularly, especially fast foods, aren't working out productively, if at all, have no sleep schedule or routine in general, then you should not be accepting anything. And you should be getting your act together and enter the phase of your life where you are a fully functioning adult. It sounds harsh, I know, but be fucking for real right now. Your positivity is destroying you because you're taking it too far. Which brings me to another con, and that is the backhanded side of this movement, where I find that it ends up shaming those who are feeling self-conscious or bad about their body. Because like I said at the beginning of this episode, you are not going to love your body all the time. You're going to have moments of disgust or dislike for the way you look or a piece of you looks. It's perfectly normal. But at the end of the day, you need to be taking care of yourself and doing everything that you can to put your best self forward and not come to a place of complacency or acceptance of the dislike. Overall, body positivity is complex and it's multifaceted, but it's important for you to understand where the media tries to pull you in and convince you of its more toxic traits as a ploy to get you to buy something or believe something that will, in return, influence your decisions and actions. Your health, feeling included and respected, and developing self-love are all necessary when it comes to living your best life. So the question remains, has body positivity gone too far? In my opinion, yes, I think it has. I think that no matter what, you are going to have people who are fat phobic, exclusive, and judgmental, but as long as you are waking up day in and day out, taking 100% ownership for your decisions, showing up to take care of yourself to the best of your ability, and not letting haters stop you from enjoying your life, then I applaud you. Because at the end of the day, your health will determine your quality of life, your energy levels, your relationships, and your performances in all aspects. So don't just accept your life or your body as what it is and start being accountable for your actions, both the good ones and the bad ones. And work with a coach like me if you need that extra accountability or support or direction so you are putting your best self forward 95% of the time. But that is what I have for you on the body positivity movement. I know things got a little heated in there. If you liked what you heard, if I changed some perspective about this movement for you, or if you know someone who has taken things a little too far, then please share this episode, post it on social media, and tag me at coach.jessdiamond when you do. Subscribe to stay up to date on the newest episode, and give me a 5-star rating while you're at it. Otherwise, this concludes another episode of How to 20-something, and I can't wait to be in your headphones again next week with another brand new episode.